everyone. Thanks so much for joining me for this week's episode of When I Grow Up. On today's episode, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Yujin Sol. Hi, Yujin. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me here.
So quick sidebar, I have no real connection to Eugene because a lot of my guests I've kind of known or met in the past. So I feel very privileged. Eugene lives in Los Angeles and I connected to her through a mutual friend who has also been on the podcast, Edward Sun. But then I talked to Eugene and she said, actually, we've never really met. You guys are just fans of each other through Instagram. As creatives, right?
Yeah.
Which is I feel super cool. I don't know. It's kind of cool that you guys know each other in that way because you guys admire each other's work.
Yeah.
So Eugene, can you tell me what it is that you do?
Currently, I work as an art director at Facebook, still do at the Messenger Kids team. So doing designs, and just part of a team that does the art for it, the AR filter effects. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, you said Messenger Kids. What is that?
So it's like a messenger for kids before they are able to use the official messenger.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
I had no idea. Okay, so do you know what are the requirements? So you just have to be under the age of 18?
I think it's 13.
Oh, 13. Okay,
Yeah.
13. So this is an active platform though? I feel okay, the only reason I ask, Eugene, is because I work with youth students, like I mentioned before, and they tell me because I'm old, they're like, oh, Facebook, people don't use Facebook anymore.
Oh yeah, I heard.
But but it is an active platform for kids under the age of 13.
Yeah, so it's basically same as the Messenger app, but for the kids one, it's parents have the control so they can see. So it's a little bit more of a safer platform. It's definitely more safer than regular Messenger.
I mean, I need to know these things for my kids in the future.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm thinking of, I've never seen the Messenger Kids, so I'm thinking of the adult one, right? The older people one. And for me, I guess I'm a little confused because you say art director and design, but I feel like in Messenger there's not too much art going on.
Right.
So could you expand on that a little bit?
Right. So the Messenger, the interface is very simple, but it's still very branded. So there's the logo and the color schemes, and when there's new effects or stickers and filters, those are all designed too. So there is a lot of design going on.
Oh, wow. Okay. So for you, at Facebook Messenger Kids, what does a typical design day look like for you?
So it's right now we're all working from home. So I wake up, I turn on the computer. We actually talk in Facebook Messenger too, but the work version. Usually there's a lot of meetings where we kick off projects, sync with the team, or and then there's a lot of self alone time where we work on designs and then we present it to the team and there's more feedback.
Yeah. So say you come up with a design, are you the one actually designing it, or is there everyone's working on one project?
We're all working on different projects. Okay. Usually, yeah.
So how much creative freedom do you have? Because I would imagine, Facebook as a company wants it to look a certain way. But how much of your own freedom can you input onto the design?
I think it depends on the team and where we are with the brand. But I feel in my team, there's a lot of creative room, especially when there's games and filters. It's totally open and brand new, but just has to be targeted towards kids and it's fun. And say, right now there's a slight refreshing of the brand.
Okay.
So we get to explore more concepts. So I
Oh,
think that part's really exciting.
nice. How does one a team begin to brainstorm these ideas? Are you allowed to share that with me?
I haven't had much brainstorm sessions yet.
Uh-huh.
I have one tomorrow, so I'll know more tomorrow.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, but usually as a designer, I look at references,
Mm,
do a lot of sketches, and like make sure like the sketches are like clear and telling the right message, and then we go on to fleshing out the designs.
nice. So you had mentioned before we started recording that you haven't been there very long.
Yeah,
It's been like a month, you said?
yeah, it's like week two.
Oh man, I mean seriously though, congratulations, Eugene. That
Thank you.
seems like an awesome place to be,
Yeah.
especially post-pandemic.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, and I'm curious to learn more about your journey. Before you were here, what is it that you were doing before at Facebook?
Right. Before Facebook, I was at Airtable, which is like another software company,
Okay.
and I was doing designs and illustrations as they were also refreshing the brand.
Mm. And so when you were there, like what kind of designs were you doing?
Mm. Um, Airtable, um, I really liked it because there's a lot of illustrations, and they were very pushing forward, like towards like a bold and very creative illustration style. And the illustration would pop up like inside the product or in like their blogs, like the editorial kind of things,
Okay, so
like on their website. Yeah.
for somebody that is like completely clueless,
Mhm.
like you say illustrations, but like what does that mean? So me, it's just like, oh, it's just a picture, a design, but is that like is this word different for something else?
Um, I'll say illustration is more artistic.
Okay.
So, for example, at Airtable, like the illustrations had like people doing work because it's like a productivity, like workspace software.
Mm. So are these like moving?
It could be.
Okay. And then, okay, so I'm just gathering information
Hmm.
even from your social media, Eugene.
Mm.
Like I noticed that it's not really like some of the designs and what you call illustrations that
Mhm.
you do, they're not like drawings. Like they're not like graphics, like graphic
Mm.
design. It's different than graphic design, right?
Yeah.
Okay, they seem a little more like 3D. Is that the right vocabulary that I'm using?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
3D?
I do more 3D too. Mhm.
Okay. So how is that like different than a graphic designer?
Mhm. Um, I hope I'm right with this, but in my experience, like graphic design, I feel it's more like print or like how like a package is designed. There is a lot of overlap in our fields, and illustration is more like artistic, or it goes inside of like a container, like a website that is designed.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And so, do you do your illustrations on a computer?
Yes. Hmm.
Do you sketch it out first, or what do you do?
Yeah.
What is your
Yeah. Sketch it out.
process like
Hmm.
when so okay, say when you were at Airtable, right? And
Hmm.
they come to you with like, "Okay, Eugene, we need this to happen." I don't know, like a they need you to put something on the website.
Yeah.
What is your process of getting
Mm.
things started from like finish to end?
Right. Um, I try to understand like what it's for, like where it does live in, or who's the audience for, and get some references to be inspired, some style
Mm,
references, and then go to sketch. I
mm.
usually sketch out multiple ideas and talk with the creative director to see which idea delivers the message the best. And then from then, like sketching it, going from sketch to like the final product.
And the final product is what? Like you
Like has colors, yeah.
oh keep going. Yeah, keep going.
uh, yeah, has colors. Basically, it's like the nicer, finished, polished version.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
you present it to them, and then do they like sometimes ask you to like read, like, I don't know, has that ever happened? Like, we
Oh
hate
yeah.
it. Like, has
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah?
But yeah, don't take it personally.
Yeah.
There's like always a lot of revisions and iteration that goes, but it's just part of the process.
Mm,
Sometimes some concepts just gets, it's not the right one for this project. We move on with different concepts.
okay, awesome. I mean, so how does one become a like artist like this, like a creative like this? Because again, I just feel like it's like you spent. It's not like graphic design for like print or like branding or anything. It's really more of a artistic kind of like outlet or platform. I feel like.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like when did your love for design like this begin?
Mhm. Probably like when I was young, like I played like Neopets and I would like design like the pet pages. So
Yeah.
I started like making websites when I was young and like doing Photoshop things and just having fun with it. I didn't know that it would become something similar to what I do now.
Mm-hmm.
I studied animation at school, uh, where you draw a lot, and I think that's where I kind of developed more of like an illustration style.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so yeah, it was a good journey.
Oh, okay. So you studied animation. Where did you go to school?
I studied at USC.
Oh, that seems like a great place to study that.
Yeah.
What is the animation? So like, um, out of high school, you already knew like what you wanted to do, or did it take some kind of searching?
Yeah, definitely searching. I like doubted animation even though I was studying it. So I still had like doubts like, is this the right major or not? But I just kind of stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So like, okay,
mhm.
upon entering USC, they had so they you knew going in, you like declared your major, or what?
Yeah, when
Oh,
I
you
applied.
did.
Hmm.
Okay, so how did you even know animation was an option? Is my
Right. So I was just looking at um, art programs that weren't fine art, so more like a
Oh.
digital art things. And USC was the only school I applied for animation for.
Mm,
I applied to other schools for like digital art or something more broad.
okay. Because you had interest in like kind of like not the you had interest, it seems like in the what do you mm, like more virtual, like
Yeah.
computer wise. Is that
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, like drawing on the computer,
Okay, okay.
like
Rather
telling
than just like
stories.
drawing with your hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and that just kind of came from like what you were mentioning earlier, like wanting doing your own websites and things, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so like other art schools, I know like I'm not sure actually, but from what I hear, like you have to like turn in all of these portfolios and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Did you have to do that?
Yeah, I still put in a portfolio that was still very like fine arts based because that's what I did at school.
Mm-hmm. So that's a requirement.
Yeah, it was a requirement. Yeah.
So what was the portfolio process like for you? Because I know it's very
Mm.
challenging.
Yeah, it's very time consuming when you're also studying. Um, I just took AP art and you make a portfolio there, and I just turned that in.
Okay, what was in
Yeah.
your portfolio? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was a lot of paintings and drawings.
Mm,
And I think my concept was like showing different perspectives. Yeah.
perspectives of what?
Oh, so if you look at one painting from left and right, it looks different. I kind of like trying
Oh,
new things, yeah.
oh, cool. Okay, so you're studying. Okay, so you go into USC, you get in as
Yeah.
an animation major, and you say you just kind of mentioned like you still weren't sure.
Yeah. Mhm.
So is it like competitive at USC or what's it like there, the atmosphere?
Mm. Our class was really small, of like 20 people. So
Mm,
it really didn't feel competitive because I felt that everyone was unique.
mm.
Everyone was good at different things. Um, and we all became friends because we were very close. So it didn't feel competitive. Like high school felt competitive to me. So it was like a good fresh air.
Nice. Um,
Mhm.
so did you complete your study in animation or did you end up changing it?
I ended up, so, yeah, completing. I had
Okay.
doubts, but if I did like a new major, I would have to stay longer. And I like my
Oh,
friend, so just kept going all the way.
I see. I see. So
Mhm.
what do classes in animation at school like what does it look like?
It's a lot of like self projects.
Mm,
Um, so at USC, I felt like the professors really focused on like developing your own independent voice in film and style. So we worked on a lot of like self projects, like mostly like self expression.
And do you feel like you were able to do that during college or did you feel like you found it later?
Oh, I think so. Um, but I think it's kind of funny because at school I felt like the end goal or like the dream of animation major was like to go to like Pixar or Disney,
Right,
and
right. Uh-huh.
I didn't really see that in my portfolio.
Mm,
My portfolio was like GIFs, like silly stuff, and I think in that was a style in itself that
mm.
led to other things instead of that traditional film and TV path.
Wow. Okay, so GIFs is a part of animation then?
Yeah, I guess 5-second short animation.
Oh, I never thought of it like that, but I guess. So
Mhm.
like, do you make things like would you be potentially making things like that, like GIFs and stuff for Facebook Messenger Kids?
I guess so. Yeah, because there are stickers
Yes, stickers.
will be animated. Yeah.
Oh, that's really neat.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. You had just kind of touched on, you would think sometimes as an animation major, you would contemplate going into Pixar or like those kind of bigger companies that are well known like that. But yeah, what is the job process like after college in that kind of field? Like, do people expect like more education beyond a bachelor's in this field? Or yeah, could you tell me a little more about that?
Yeah. Uh, I don't think bachelor is required.
Mm,
I think having an undergrad does help in just get a good start in your portfolio and make connections. But from that is really more about your experience in your portfolio.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So how did you start applying for jobs and like did you know what you were looking for or
Yeah, I did not know what I was looking for because tried to build a portfolio for like things that Pixar and Disney will be looking for.
Mm,
And you have to be a really good character designer or a background artist. And I'm like not that good at drawing very specifically.
mm,
But I really like colors and shapes and like concepts. So my job process, I was a little lost, and that's why I thought about maybe switching careers, or maybe
mm,
not careers, but majors, but my professor saw my work and thought I would be good for motion graphics. So she recommended me to a motion graphics studio, Buck, and that's where I started interning. And I found that, oh, like their style is very creative and colorful, um, and very like conceptual. And I thought, that's when I found like, oh, I definitely want to go into this like industry, like motion graphics.
oh wow, okay, so can you explain that term to me, motion
Yeah.
graphics?
Um, Motion graphics is like so commercials have some commercials have animation and
Uh-huh,
design.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
So motion graphics studios will be doing that.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna look at your thing your social
Okay.
media right now
Mhm.
because there was one graphic that I saw that I thought was really fun.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, all the stuff
Nice.
I put on my Instagram is things I've done at work.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So like this like is this an example of a motion graphic? This Dunkin'
Yeah.
Donuts thing?
Yeah.
That's really cool. But you did so like is this contracted work? Or how did you
Oh,
know what I mean? Because you said you were at
yeah.
Airtable. Were you at something before
Oh, yes,
Airtable?
yeah. Before Airtable, I was at Motion Graphics Studio Laundry. So we
Oh,
did this Dunkin' Donuts commercial at Laundry.
okay. So,
Mhm.
um, and so a company like Laundry is like contracted by other bigger companies then.
Yeah, I don't know
Like
if
they're
contracting is the right term, but yeah, we get projects
they get,
from
oh yeah, they get
different
hired.
brands.
They get hired. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Mhm.
cool. So like this Dunkin' Donuts one here, like what was the process for this? Like how does one even does the company tell you this is what we want or do you guys have to figure it out?
Oh, it's a little bit of both. Like Dunkin' Donuts came with the concept of like cheers in, and it's for holidays, so let's celebrate things like that. And here are featured seasonal drinks that we want to feature. But it's definitely like a work in progress with them as we like flesh out concepts and different looks to see where this is gonna go.
I see. Okay, so um okay, so like a motion graphic like that one, where does that appear like in life? Like it's not a commercial, but is that just like for social media?
Yeah, it's mostly on social media, so
Okay.
on websites. I think the TV version came out, but I don't watch TV, so I don't really
I
know.
mean, yeah, actually I don't watch TV. I just stream
Yeah.
things, so I don't know,
hmm
but
Maybe on YouTube.
nice. That's really cool. So you guys made a whole commercial then.
Yeah.
That's really neat. So, okay, I mean, like, like, what is the turnaround time for that?
Yeah, so turnaround does go pretty fast. I think it was maybe a month or more. Like a few weeks of like concepts and sketching the story out and I think production, like animation and rendering and making the 3D, like that probably took a couple weeks.
Okay, so, okay, sorry, Eugene, now I have a lot of questions after
Oh,
looking at
okay,
this thing.
perfect.
No, because it's like,
Mhm.
do you do all of those things? Like, the animation, the rendering, animation part, the sketching, like, you yourself are able to do all those things.
No, it's definitely teamwork.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So what is your part?
hmm I was art directing and designing on this project. So
Okay.
I worked with the creative director to like, so we do pitches to make sure that Dunkin' Donuts like our work, and when we like win the pitch, like we get the project and then we start fleshing. So I help with the pitch stage and then start storyboarding, so drawing sketches
Oh,
that flesh out the entire story, and then I did the designs. So I was a designer, storyboarder, and art director, and then after the designs, um, that there was like a team of animators, like 3D artists, and we worked together to, animate and make this whole thing. Yeah.
okay, I see. Okay, so
hmm
I mean, like even you just saying that is like, oh, your background in animation really does come into play because you have to storyboard everything
Yeah.
in
hmm
order for people to visualize what's being made, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, that's really cool.
Thank you.
Um, I mean, like literally, so it's like yeah, in this particular job, you are more than just a designer then. Like you truly are an animator in that particular like situation.
Kind of. I didn't do the animation, but I
But
helped to see it through.
you have to know, right? Like what's
Yeah.
going on.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it's helpful, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Okay, so like um man, that's really neat. I think that's really cool. I'm noticing too that your style is like more, what would you call your style, Eugene?
That's pretty tough. I feel like I do like 3D and 2D, so my style, differs from different
Mm.
mediums,
Mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm.
maybe colorful and, you know, hopefully positive.
Yeah. Okay, like what is this one? This one's really cute.
Oh, okay. That one was for Ignite TV, like a short, like a like an identity video, like the very short film before I think they feature their shows.
Okay. So like I know that you're not doing the animation part, but are you coming up with the way things look?
Yes. Mhm.
Man, you're really talented, Eugene.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, so good, so good. Wow, I mean, like, I definitely, I tell people, I feel like a broken record at this point, Eugene. Like, I tell people the same thing, all my guests. Like, a lot of times I don't really think about the work. Like, I don't really think about your job. But like, and I just get to enjoy whatever it is the product of one's job is, right? And I feel like even this, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't think about the work that goes into it. What do you love most about what you do?
Um, I really like that. Like I can be creative. I really just enjoy like the
Mm,
process of like
mm,
concepting and drawing. So I'm really thankful that I get to do this as a career. And I think the other thing that really motivates me is like the people I get to meet through work. So I met a lot of good friends, um, like at my previous job at laundry.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm just excited to meet more people through work.
Yeah. Okay, but do you ever get stressed? Like, I feel like it could get stressful. Like, I know we mentioned earlier, like some people maybe they hate the work that you brought to them, and that you said that's just part of the process, so there's no hard feelings. But I mean, do you ever get like stumped, like as an artist? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
definitely.
so like, what do you do, like for inspiration or to work through it?
Mm, I think just taking a little break if I could is good. Like just in between the day.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely pray a lot, like
Mm,
ask God for inspiration. Kind of really
wow.
need that every day.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, and then just looking at other people's work and feeling inspired. Yeah, so like
Okay.
seeing
Um,
others work on Instagram.
Oh, so Instagram is kind of good. Like that's
Or
where you would
yeah.
okay, that's interesting. All right.
Hmm.
So like um okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Say there's somebody listening right now, right? And
Mhm.
they've always thought about like the fine arts, right? Like
Uh-huh.
going to art school, like just doing that, whatever that looks like. Again, this is not my strength. Art is my weakness, but so I don't know, but like um what type of artist, I don't even know if you can answer this actually, but like what type of artist that is used to like the fine arts type of, because in high school that's what they do, right? Usually fine art type
Yeah,
of
usually.
things.
Hmm.
Like, would you kind of be like, hey, you know what? Maybe you should try animation, or maybe you should try um what would you call motion graphics? Motion
Yeah. Hmm.
graphics.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, is there a certain type of artist that maybe would do better or well in this type of work?
I think being open to trying different things, or
Mm,
actually, I feel like you could really like have a specific style, and then like people come to you for that style, like make a commercial in this style. So maybe like being able to be a storyteller, because in
oh,
like motion graphics, and animation, it's definitely like the story that really like
mm,
compels the viewer, and especially because it's like a time-based medium, like the story and like the concept, it's not just one frame, but it's expanded.
mm.
But I feel like that's like a really good skill.
Right. I mean, like
Hmm.
trying to come up with like a good storyline and get to the point quickly because you don't have too much time, especially like commercial work, like you
Yeah.
mentioned. would be really difficult. Yeah, so like, were you good at that in the beginning, or did it take some time?
Um, yeah, I think it definitely took some time, or I'm actually not even sure if I'm like good at it. Um,
No, I'm
but
sure you're good at it.
I don't know, because it's not like storytelling is not like a like you learn from a textbook, but you
Right.
just kind of like you see like different movies or films and kind of see like how they visually tell the story. Like
Mm,
even if there's no words, like that emotion kind of gets across.
yes. So actually, I was a film major in college.
Oh, pretty cool.
But I'm not doing anything with it right now. So like I really appreciate like what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't practice it anymore. But to hear you talk about it like that, it really does make a difference, you know, like in a couple of, a 30-second clip, if you can compel the person watching it to feel something, then you're doing it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you can relate to that. And um it's really cool. I just again never thought about this medium at all, like telling stories through animation and actually are you into animation in general, like animated films?
Yeah, I don't actually watch a lot of films, but the ones I do, I usually watch animation.
So like um how does one become a better storyteller, do you feel like?
Oh, that's a hard question. I
Ah.
actually don't really know either. I
Well,
guess,
what
yeah.
do you do to like kind of maybe hone your skills and get better?
Mm, oh, it's like just practice, I think. I feel like every time I do like storyboard or like do sketches that kind of tell an idea, like series of sketches, and I think showing it to other people. And if they got the message, then my message was clear and I was able to convey that well.
Hmm.
But if not, there's a lot of iterations and fixes.
Yes, yes. Oh, goodness. Again, not my strength. I feel like stressed out thinking about art,
No.
but but I know there are so many people that love it, and it definitely shows through your work, Eugene, how much you love what you do. But with
Yeah.
that being said, can you tell me like the thing you like least about your job?
Um, Actually, not sure. I
Nothing? Nothing? You're so
think when there's
easy.
computer
You seem like an
problems,
easygoing person.
yeah, easygoing. Actually, yeah, one least favorite thing is like if there's problems with the computer, like it crashes or it doesn't do the thing I want it to do. Yeah.
Oh, that's stressful. Okay, so what
Mm.
do you mean it doesn't do the thing you want it to do? Like as far as like illustrating goes?
Usually that happens more in 3D. So, like for
Mm,
the Dunkin' Donuts commercial, there was a lot of like sleeves and cloth. So
yes.
we simulated that with the program, like Marvelous Designer, and that program just didn't like me. Like it just kept crashing. So that's a little frustrating.
Yeah, that's super frustrating. Okay,
Mm.
so like, can you explain this 3D process to me a little bit?
Yeah.
Um, I have a feeling it's more than just like, I don't know. I have no concept of it at all. Are you able to articulate it a little bit?
Yeah. I do think 3D is something like challenging for me in the beginning because it's really hard to like imagine what that process goes to. But I
Mm-hmm.
do think it's a lot easier when people just started using. So that's what I would want to tell students. Just it's a lot easier than you think
Okay.
once you get past the interface. But my process is um, usually doing like a 2D sketch like on paper really helps to get the idea across
Uh-huh.
and like clear my head. And from the stages of 3D, it's usually like modeling, like building like the character or like the scene, and then you kind of color it by creating materials. So like a plastic yellow material or like a steel silver material, and you kind of like drop them into these models like coloring, but in 3D.
Wait,
And then
okay,
yeah.
sorry. You said you sorry. I'm so sorry. You
Mhm.
said that you make a model, but like are you saying like on the computer or like in real
Yeah.
life?
Oh, and computer.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. So like spheres and cubes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Mhm.
And then you said you drop color in, and what is that? Okay, say that again. What does that mean again?
It's like creating materials and shaders.
Okay.
So like you can create like a yellow plastic material
How do
and you
you
can
do
drop them
that?
up. Um, so I use Cinema 4D
And
and
that's a
Redshift.
program.
Yeah, it's a program.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And there are settings like basic plastic setting, and I can just change the color to yellow.
Oh,
hmm
okay. So like when it says plastic, it means like so when I am looking at it, it looks like a plastic material.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's cool. So like it's interesting to me that like so you have to after you make the model, does the model look like your sketch or does that come later?
I feel like sometimes if my sketch is good, it looks like my sketch, but sometimes in that process, I create something new or different. So sometimes in the process, I find it, or if it's like a really well-defined sketch, I usually go with the sketch.
Okay. Um this is gonna sound so dumb.
No,
I'm
no,
so
no,
sorry.
no, no dumb questions.
um when you're like so are you like using your cursor and mouse to sketch on the computer or do you use like a pen? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, sketches usually I do it on paper,
Uh-huh.
or I use a tablet if I draw on Photoshop.
Okay, but then like when you I guess
Mhm.
I'm having trouble grasping how it like translates to the computer. Like, you know, cuz it's like it seems so odd that your 2D sketch would become 3D, but and it looks the same. Like are you like using a cursor to draw exactly what you drew on your 2D sketch?
Um,
Do you
yeah,
get what
so
I'm
I,
asking?
yeah,
Okay.
so I guess I rebuild it in 3D. So the sketch is just as a reference or an
Uh-huh.
idea, but
Uh-huh.
in 3D, I do have to rebuild that again, but in 3D. So if I draw a circle, I have to create like a three sphere object.
Ah, okay. Man, that sounds really, I mean, it sounds really fun if you
Yeah, it is
like
fun.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, was there anything I didn't ask that you wanted to kind of share about your job or illustration or 2D or 3D graphic design?
Um, I think in like technical parts,
Yes,
you
yes.
mostly just learn on the job, but
Mm,
I think just learning, there's always new software, things like that. So um, I feel like if you just have like a mindset of just always keep learning, like you will do great.
mm. Is that the advice you would give to somebody maybe thinking about animation or just kind of maybe taking the same steps that you did? Like, do you have any other advice for somebody that's in art or thinking about illustration?
Um, I think just like staying true to yourself, like to your style,
Mm,
and just being open and flexible in learning new styles or new programs. I think that core like mission of what you want to do, um, I think just having that like, because I think that becomes like your motivation that kind of keeps you going. Like when you have like an art block or like things are difficult at your job. And I think my motivation, like I think like the purpose that we all have, like we don't know it all completely, but we can see different sides of it throughout time. So in the beginning, for me, I just wanted to like work and be positive and bring like positivity into the workplace.
mm,
And I think that kind of grew to like I discovered I had a heart for like making the internet like a safer place for kids or um and then and then now what I'm doing relates to that. and I feel more motivated and excited. So I think it's like the heart and the mission. It's really important because as art and designers, what you make really has an impact on like how the customer feels when they look at it or use the app. And I think it's like the heart and mission that kind of overflows from that, from like inside to the out.
Mm, I love that. That is wonderful advice. Can I ask you about that kind of change in heart and motivation to make the internet a safer place for kids? Like, where did that come from?
I think before I've always like, I always, mm, I think like, different problems kind of bother or make different people. So like some
Mm,
people could be very like passionate about like homelessness or
mm,
like in the environment. Um, and I think my heart that kind of was like the most sensitive was like human trafficking and like towards especially kids. And yeah. And before I just had a heart for it, but I didn't really know what to do.
mm.
Um, but now I found out, like, oh, well, I social media actually plays like a big part of it. And like,
Huge part.
yeah, like a lot of
Mm,
predators going for kids on social media.
mm,
And wow, well, I'm in this industry now. I don't want to become part of the problem, but I
mm,
hope that where I am, I could make it into a safer place. Like even if my role could be just small,
mm.
like I hope to make a difference in it. Um, yeah.
That's amazing. I think you're definitely going to make a difference. I mean, it's only been week 2 for you, and I have no doubt. Completely confident that um, who knows what God is going to do through what
Thank
you're
you.
doing.
Mhm.
I'm extremely excited for you, and I'm excited for the future, you know, artists out there that are listening to this.
Yeah.
Because truly, I mean, I don't say this like to be funny. Like, really, I think creatives truly make a humongous impact in today's society, especially in social media. And I think you are a testament to, yeah, bringing positivity to the scrolling, the mindless scrolling, you know?
Yeah.
You, along with Edward, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
You.
Yeah. Well, Eugene, if it's okay with you, if somebody has maybe a question or maybe they are curious to learn more about animation or motion graphics, would you be open to maybe connecting with them through email or something?
Yeah, of course. That would be awesome.
Awesome. Well,
Mhm.
guys, you heard it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions or would like to connect with Eugene, please feel free to reach out through social media and DM me, or you can email me at podcastwigu@gmail.com. Thank you again so much for your time today, Eugene.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on here.
Absolutely. All right, guys, until next time. Bye.